Hi guys, Jeff Gibby here. Back in the MetaStock studio to record a little video to kind of give you an overview of MetaStock. It's a huge software program. Really kind of what I want to do is in just a couple minutes or less actually tell you exactly kind of what the tool is, why it's been rated so highly for a number of years, and just to give you a quick idea of what it is and how it can help you in the trades that you're looking to do. So let's go ahead and get started. As I mentioned, 24 years in a row, MetaStock has been rated #1 in its price category by Stocks and Commodities magazine. And it's a great product. If you're not familiar with the company, we were actually started in 1982. We were purchased from Reuters in 1995. Back in 2013, we actually bought ourselves back from Thomson Reuters, and we're actually an independently, privately held company. The Reuters relationship that we have is stronger than ever. It's actually more profitable than ever, and it's a great partnership that we have. It's allowed us to take some of the news and some of the data that they have, that they sell to their institutions, and provide it to you in ways that you can look at the market and run scans and use our analytics on just about anything you're interested in, whether that's an ETF that trades here in the U.S., or a stock, or an index, or a future, or even if you're interested in something that's over in Dubai or London or somewhere else. We have a broad market coverage due to our relationship and our partnership with Thomson Reuters, which is strong. It's a hugely successful product. The MetaStock product is. It's probably one of the most installed software packages on the planet. And so I'm going to show you why today. I'm going to kind of give you an idea of what's in there, what's under the hood, what's in this toolbox, show you some examples, but just really kind of a high level, this is what MetaStock is, and this is why you should be interested in it. So I mentioned it's a charting toolbox. It does charting. It does what we call explorations, which is full market scanning. It does system testing, and it does forecasting. And so let's go ahead and kind of talk a little bit about charting. And for this, I really want to get in and show MetaStock and kind of show you what it does. This is a current chart of the Dow Jones Industrial Average, or actually the DIA ETF. And with it, it does a great job of charting. Right now, I've got it loaded on a candlestick chart. I can double-click on it, and very easily I can look at candle volume, or equivolume, or point and figure, Renko, three-line break. Any kind of style that you're interested in, you should be able to apply to it. In addition to that, it's got a number. I'm actually going to leave this on candlesticks, so I'll go ahead and click OK. In addition to that, it's got a couple hundred indicators that you can use. Very easy to apply, whether it's something like a MACD, maybe a moving average. Everything kind of shows up in this indicator quick list, and it's just a matter of finding what it is that you want and just putting it on your chart. Very, very easy to use as a software product. Very drag and drop and point and click oriented, and does a great job with it. As part of our charting, we also do we have a whole tool that we call the Expert Advisor. I want to show you a little bit about what that is. So I'm going to go ahead and open up the Expert Advisor here, and you'll see a lot of built-in mechanical systems. Like, for example, if we come down here, you'll see a MACD system, and you'll see volatility, trend analysis, stochastics, candlesticks, turtle breakouts, point and figure systems, a lot of different mechanical ways of looking at indicators and looking at charts. The Expert Advisor is actually a really good tool to kind of keep you apprised and help you educate yourself about what's going on in the markets. Like, for example, like if I'm going to come down here, I'm going to just choose the one that is called the Candlestick Expert. I'm going to go ahead and click Attach. That's going to throw it on the chart. And you'll notice as soon as we see that, it's going to identify and label rising windows, falling windows, doji stars, hammers, falling windows. There's about 31 or 32 different candlestick patterns that it's going to recognize for you. So with these patterns, I can do a couple things. We could get alerts. If we wanted to see any time a rising window happened on a chart, we could actually easily set that up as an alert, something we could see on the chart. We also have a function in there that's called the expert advisor. So for example, if you're new to the market and you don't necessarily know what a rising window is, for example, what I can do is I can actually come in here, and there's a full-blown commentary where I can come over to this bar that says rising window. And it's going to say the rising window occurred. This is where the top of the previous shadow is below the bottom of the current shadow. This usually implies the continuation of a bullish trend. There have been 5 rising windows in the last 50 candles. This makes the rising window even more bullish. So this one's all around candlesticks. Of course, we can go back in time and we can learn about the last rising window or any of the other patterns that actually show up on the chart. We also have experts that are built around a lot of the classic technical indicators like Bollinger Bands and MACD, and they're all going to have kind of an explanation that kind of comes along with them and helps you understand what the pattern is and what it does. So that's kind of a quick overview of charting. Again, it does indicators. You've got your expert advisor, which is an amazing tool in and of itself. It can give you real-time alerts. It can give you automatic buy and sell signals. And you can also set up your own. Everything that I'm showing is totally customizable. So if you want to, you can go in and write your own indicators. You can create your own expert advisor, whatever it is that you want to do. So that's one of the tools that I wanted to talk about. Another big thing that we do is explorations or scanning. And I think a lot of people buy MetaStock just for the data mining capabilities, the ability to go in and say, okay, there's 3,000 something optionable stocks. Show me the ones that currently have the best opportunities in the market and allow me to do scanning and ranking on those. And, let's go ahead and kind of talk about it. Let me show you exactly how it works and how it's going to kind of work for you. I'm going to come back into, this is what we call the MetaStock Power Console. And you'll see I have a button here that says Explore. So in here, you'll see all kinds of scans that are available. We can look for stuff that is broken through support and resistance. You can look for trendline breakouts. You can look for, stuff that has high volume average, price surges. Anything that you can kind of think of is going to be built for you. And in addition to that, it does have a fairly robust and easy to use language. So if you're looking for something pretty specific, you'll be able to get it designed for you or write it yourself. In any case, let's say I wanted to run a scan and find any of the stocks that had a buy or a sell signal for MACD. I can go ahead and click on this Equus MACD Expert System. I'm going to go ahead and scroll up. And this kind of goes back to talk a little bit about the data that's available for you. You'll notice right here there's a huge number, 372,807 stocks. That's the amount of instruments that are actually available in MetaStock through Reuters. So again, if you're interested in scanning through something that's in Asia, you can just click on this Asia. It's going to give you a list of all the Asian instruments. If you're interested in something that's in North America, Europe, for example, you could come in here, very easily find like the London Stock Exchange. Just put a check mark right there, and that'll scan all the London stocks against the scan that you're interested in. Just a very robust platform. And you notice I just put a check mark, and it just runs a scan against it. Now, the scan that I ran earlier to get ready for this was actually, you'll notice we have sectors and industry groups. We've got index constituents. But the scan I actually ran it against a little bit earlier was this U.S. optionable stocks. There's about 4,400 U.S. optionable stocks. So what I said to the program was, okay, show me all of the ones that are currently giving me a MACD buy or a MACD sell. I'm not going to run the scan right now. It just takes a couple minutes to run. But if I click on this and I go to the report, it's actually going to give us a list of all the stocks that are currently have a buy signal, which would have a 1 in this column, a sell signal, which would have a 1 in this column. It would show me all the ones that are currently overbought and all the ones that are currently oversold. So very easily I'm able to go in, and instead of looking at 4,400 instruments, I can narrow down to the actual instruments that actually have a buy or a sell signal today. Yeah, of course, you have the ability to save the list or open up the charts and take a look at them from here. It's a very robust platform. And I would say scanning, data mining, I've talked to customers of ours that have been with us for a number of years, and the real reason they buy MetaStock is not because of all of the other fancy tools that are available that we're going to kind of briefly cover as well, but the ability to kind of say, okay, well, there are 4,400 stocks that are optionable. I really don't want to look at 4,400 stocks every day. Just show me the ones that are of interest to me. So it's a great tool that's available as part of the MetaStock overall toolbox. And really it's designed to, do scanning and ranking, scan on the markets that you're interested in. And again, it's customizable. Everything in MetaStock is very, very customizable. So if you want to go in and find the stocks that are giving you the opportunities now, or you want to kind of create your own scans, it's actually pretty easy to do. So the next thing I want to talk about of the 4 tools that we're going to talk about today is the system tester. And the system tester, maybe you're not too familiar with what the MACD is, or the Bollinger Bands, or the other indicators. I said earlier there's 200 indicators that are available at MetaStock. So narrowing it down to see which ones work well for you is a function of system testing. So let's kind of get into MetaStock. I'm going to kind of talk a little bit about that. I'll go ahead and close this exploration dialog box that I was talking about before. And I'm just going to come to the system tester here. Okay, and right here I've got a list of all of the system tests that are available. System testing, in a nutshell, is a way to say, okay, I'm interested in taking a MACD buy and sell signal. If I would have taken buy and sell signals off of the MACD, for example, how would that have worked over the last 1 year, or 2 years, or 5 years, or 10 years, or even up to 30 years, depending on kind of the markets that you're interested in? And it's an idea that we can kind of go in there and say, what works? Because again, there's a lot of indicators that are in the market. What we want to be able to do is identify which ones are kind of working really well right now, and kind of focus on the stuff that works. So in any case, you'll see there's Bollinger Bands. Again, there's MACD. There's Relative Strength Index. There's a number of systems that you can test. You can test as many of these systems as you want, and against as many different markets as you want. Again, here we would select the stock or the system we wanted to test. I'm going to do the MACD expert system. And here I could come down here and say, okay, well, I want to test that against all of the, let's say, the North American optionable stocks. And the program would, at that point, go through, and it would test all 4,400 issues. It's going to go back about a year by default, but you can change that. And it's going to tell you which ones have how the performance worked on that. Instead of doing the optionables, you can come in here and you can say, okay, well, I don't really want to do all of them. I want to just do maybe the S&P 500 or the Dow Jones or the FTSE. And that will allow you to go in and do that kind of analysis and that kind of work. The output of that work to kind of keep things is a report. So in this particular case, I tested the MACD. I'm going to go ahead and click on this. I'm going to go ahead and view the report. And there's about 100 stocks in the stock basket that I had tested. Now I can kind of see, based on this view, exactly what instruments worked really well with MACD and what instruments didn't work with the MACD. In addition, BlackRock Mountain was the best. Last year, it traded about 26 times. It had about a 10% gain, which isn't too bad. If I wanted to, I can go ahead and click on View. It's going to give us very detailed reports that are going to show us our maximum drawdowns. It's going to show us how often we're trading. It's going to show us our profitable trades versus our losing trades. All kinds of information that's available. I can, of course, come in here and see an equity graph. Very, very cool tool. And again, it's completely customizable. So if I want to take one of the built-in systems that's in MetaStock and add my own stops, I can do that. If I want to create my own system that maybe uses MACD and Bollinger Bands and that kind of stuff, I can very, very easily go in and do that. So it's a very, very customizable tool. And that's what we call system testing. Again, it's about finding what strategies are working, what securities they're working with. It allows you to go in and see those detailed profit and loss statements so that you can set up a business plan around trading, and it's totally customizable. And the last tool I kind of want to just give you a 50,000 foot view of is our patent pending forecaster model. And so I'm going to go ahead and open that up in MetaStock. Let's go ahead and go back in here. Going to go into our forecaster module. And I'm just going to go ahead and what I'll do is I'll type in DIA. Give you an idea of what this is doing. Go ahead and open that up. This one's a little bit different. It's got a number of pre-built-in patterns. I can come in here and just to kind of give you the events that it's recognizing, it does a 52-week high, Bollinger Band breakouts, candlesticks, CCI overbought, oversold, positive divergence, negative divergence, quite a few built-in events. I think there's about 52 of them. Okay. On this chart, it's going to show us of all of the events that we've got selected, which one, it's going to show us where that happened on a chart. So, for example, if I come down here, I'm just going to change this for a second. I'm going to change this to most accurate current forecasts. Go ahead and change that there. And here I've got the, right here we've got the LSCI bearish breakout, okay? And every time that happens on a chart, what's going to happen is it's going to give you an arrow. And what it's going to do is it's going to use a statistical manipulation, and it's going to take a look at what happened after each one of those current signals. And it's going to try and statistically tell you how likely a price movement is after a certain event. So for example, every time this particular LCI bearish breakout pattern happened, statistically it looked kind of like this afterwards. And this is what we call a cloud. Basically what it's going to do is the brighter it is, the more statistically likely that it's going to be in that area. So if you'll notice there's a little bit of a temperature thermometer right here. Basically the brighter the color, the more statistically likely it is going to be to fall in that area. So I can come back in here, I can click on one of these events. What it's going to do is it's going to apply that statistical cloud over the price activity and kind of give us an idea of what's coming up or what's coming down the pipe, so to speak, which is a very, very cool way to kind of get a confirmation of maybe the price targets that you want to go for, that kind of stuff. And you'll notice with this one, it was pretty accurate, pretty current. One of the things that I like about the forecaster in general is the ability to go in there and hand draw patterns. So if I come back into the event recognizer, I can actually draw a pattern. And let's say I wanted to do like a V pattern, for example. I'm just going to go ahead and type in the words V pattern. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to draw exactly the pattern that I want. Okay. I'll do that much of the V. I'll go ahead and click on Save, and you can obviously, there's a lot of options in here. I want to kind of keep this simple. But that quickly, now I can look for that V pattern on the chart. And in addition to that, I can do the statistical analysis or the forecasting that's built around it. Let me go ahead and go back into the PowerPoint. So in a nutshell, it's a big toolbox. It allows you to go in and it does charting, does real-time alerts, it does scanning, it does the testing of trading ideas, and then the forecaster is a really, really cool tool. And like a toolbox, the better you understand how the tools operate, the better it's going to work for you. And we do have a number of videos up on our website that go through each of the tools and explain to you how they all work. In addition to that, we have probably one of the best support departments in the industry. I always get good feedback. If you have questions as you're installing your product or as you're using it, or if you need help, contact the support team. They'll take care of you. They'll answer your questions, and you can reach them either by phone, by email, or by chat. So in any case, again, yes, it's been rated #1 in its price category 24 years in a row. It's a great, fantastic product. I'd recommend you take it for a test drive. And thanks for watching the video. I really appreciate it.